And the deputy chairperson of the ANC's International Relations Committee, Obed Bapela, drew the ire of the party's Deputy Secretary General and the chairperson of the party's International Relations Committee, Nomvula Mokonyane, when he engaged the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Morocco under the pretences of representing the party. This came to light when the party's allies in neighbouring rival Algeria informed the party of the engagement. Let's unpack this further with Prof Sethulego Matebesi, who is the head of Sociology at the University of the Free State. Prof, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Perhaps as context, the starting point of our conversation should be about the tense relationship and the history of Algeria and Morocco in relation to the Western Sahara. Perhaps tell us why that makes this moment so contentious.
Hi, good evening, Oliver, and good evening to your viewers. Yes, we all know the stance of the African National Congress, and it's similar to what is happening in Israel, where the African National Congress will always take the stance of those particular nations that fight for self-determination. And it's the same situation here. Western Sahara has been fighting for self-determination for many years. And the African National Congress stance has been a very sympathetic one towards that particular nation in their fight for self-determination.
Yeah, when the ANC, or at least under the pretenses of representing the party, when Obed Bapela had engaged Morocco, it seems he had given a tacit support on behalf of the party towards Morocco and its alleged claim over the Western Sahara. Algeria is not too happy about this, and they had reached out to the ANC about this. Is the ANC hoping to be an interlocutor between Algeria and Morocco on this matter, or has it chosen to just completely stay out of it and not choose sides?
No, I don't think so. This is to do with organizational issues, organizational principles. And we're talking about a senior ANC member, a highly experienced cadre of the African National Congress who should know. For me, this is also more not about the stance of the African National Congress, but it's also about the internal dynamics. You have to toe the line. And I think here, I strongly believe that Obed Bapela have overstepped, because there are party processes. Such policy positions has to be articulated by perhaps the spokesperson of the African National Congress, and seemingly went out in public to make pronouncement, which seems to be completely against the stance of its own party, let alone, the misconduct of, encroaching on a matter and then making pronouncement on it, which is in any case also not allowed by the rules of the African National Congress.
It seems like there's also been a great deal of dishonesty here. Obed Bapela had told the party that his visit to Morocco was a family holiday. Meanwhile, he engaged officials on this matter, in this case, the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Morocco. The party then had asked him to give an explanation of this. What would be an appropriate sanction against Obed Bapela in this instance?
No, this is what we have been stating all along, that the African National Congress too should be seen, because the ANC claims to be the leader of society, and they should not be selective when they take decisive actions against their own. And I think here the ANC demonstrate that they are capable of reining in cadres that perhaps, oversteps, who doesn't toe the party line, but they need to be consistent. So for me, once again, perhaps the party's disciplinary processes have to unfold, because that for me, if there are serious allegations of, lack of sincerity, then definitely the party needs to take action. Already, they've made a pronouncement that he has been asked to step aside, perhaps the formal processes will then unfold because the ANC is expected to take action on this. And for me, the next phase perhaps will be a full-blown disciplinary processes, because we also have to be given an opportunity perhaps in a formal structure to provide his side of the story.
Yep. While this is effectively a party-to-party matter, it doesn't involve the state. But there's a reasonable assumption that a policy pronouncement or lack thereof by the ANC can influence the position of the state, particularly on matters of foreign affairs, like we've seen in other instances. Is this one of those instances where the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Ronald Lamola, has to say something to make it clear that the state has a different position or has no conclusive position on the dispute in the Western Sahara?
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. There's a fine line between party and state here, and we've seen it on numerous occasions where it's going to be very difficult even to try and differentiate between that. In reality, we know there's supposed to be a difference, but what this actually tells us is that there is a lesson to be learned for all of us to say we need to know our space. And there are some of our actions and decisions that have huge implications. And this particular matter, this statement made by Obed Bapela can have huge ramification, not only for the African National Congress, as you've correctly stated, it may also have implications for the stance of South Africa. And sometimes, rightly or wrongly, may be drawn into this to say, but this is the position of the South African government, and we all know this is not a formal pronouncement that has been made by the South African government, but such statements can have huge unintended consequences, which is not good for South Africa, which is not good for the African National Congress.
Yeah. Prof, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. That is Professor Sethulego Matebesi, who is the head of sociology at the University of the Free State.